Hello, and welcome to And Now You Know. I'm Teresa, and tonight I'll be answering the question, why do tornadoes always go for trailer parks? I'm not afraid of very many things in this world, but tornadoes are one of the things that terrify me. All it takes is being in a watch, and I get the bubble guts.
The National Weather Service has issued Tornado Watch number 99.
They're unpredictable, extremely dangerous, and catastrophic, and that scares me to no end. But fears aside, anytime there's a tornado that hits an area, it seems like tornadoes become sentient and go directly for trailer parks. Now, obviously they aren't, but why is it they seem to always get hit the hardest? You can tell just by looking at a trailer home that it is significantly less sturdy than your standard house. They are also much lighter and have weaker roof-to-wall connections, aka they're not built as well. The key difference, though, is the foundation. Very rarely will you see a trailer that has been placed on a foundation. Fun fact, once a trailer has been placed on one, it's then called a manufactured home. And that can be very expensive to do, anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000. But because of that, most trailers are just anchored, making them very susceptible to being tipped or even lifted during a tornado. So say there's a tornado warning and an EF1 touches down.
We got a confirmed tornado.
Let me see.
Tornado on the ground right now.
Moving over I-35.
An EF1 generally has wind speeds between 86 to 110 miles per hour. If this tornado were to go through a residential area with homes and trailers, the damage will be staggeringly different. The houses may take some minor cosmetic damage, maybe some busted windows or shingles and siding torn off. A trailer park, on the other hand, could be severely damaged or destroyed, and that's just an EF1. An EF5 could level well-built homes and completely destroy mobile homes. But if you're still wondering why it seems like Mother Nature hates mobile homes, well, media has a lot to do with it. Since even in a weaker storm, they take most of the damage, news outlets will show that over some downed branches and ripped off shingles.
Now let's take a look at an aerial view of some of the damage in Union City. You can actually see one roof ripped apart.
It's not necessarily just for ratings or to glorify the situation. It can also help agencies like the National Weather Service and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration assess storm damage and estimate a tornado's rating when direct measurements aren't available.
Now we've made our way to the Elgin tornado, and we're finding some damaged power lines. There are power crews out here, line crews repairing the damage.
It also serves as a reminder to the public of the importance of having a safe and sturdy place to go during a tornado. Which is why in the southern U.S., especially in areas like Tornado Alley, storm cellars and shelters are very commonplace. Now, you would think that trailer parks would have either readily available, but unfortunately, it isn't as common as you think or hope. And there aren't consistent federal requirements stating a trailer park has to have one or how many they should have. Those regulations vary by state and locality. Newer parks generally have either or, but older or smaller parks rarely do. It's extremely expensive to build them, especially a shelter. The shelters have to meet very strict standards and codes, including the ability to withstand winds of 250 miles per hour, consistent with EF5 design standards, and flying debris. Most owners of small or aging parks don't have the funds to have one built, hence why there are so many casualties. Statistically, if 100 people were to die in a tornado that hit a residential area, around 50% or more of those deaths can occur in mobile homes. And what's even more wild is that even though trailers only make up about 6% of homes in the U.S., you are roughly 15 to 20 times more likely to die in one during a tornado compared to a standard home. Even if the park has a shelter or cellar, most only have one or two. So even in the situation where there is one cellar or shelter, it might only hold about 20 to 30 people. If the park has 100 residents, the majority of them won't have anywhere to go. Unfortunately, those left to take shelters in their trailers end up being part of the statistic. That's because there is literally nowhere safe to be in one during a tornado. It's generally recommended if you can't find shelter to find low-lying ground or a ditch, lay flat, and cover your head and neck. There isn't precise data on survival rate, but it's widely agreed that even though it's still very dangerous, your chances of coming out alive are higher than staying in a mobile home. And this is the hard truth on why you face certain death if you stay put in a trailer. Trailers are made with thinner and more lightweight material. It's more cost-efficient and makes for easier transportation, but it does little to offer protection in a storm. So if debris is being whipped around, it would be like a missile going through cardboard. As I mentioned before, they aren't on a foundation. At most, they are held down by anchors and straps. And it doesn't take much to uproot anchor stakes. Once that happens, it takes very little force for the trailer to either be rolled or lifted. Even if your anchors do their job and keep you planted, if there's any major damage to the roof, the trailer can collapse. The roof maintains much of the structural integrity. If the roof is heavily damaged or peeled off completely, the walls can fail quickly, mainly because there are very few structural reinforcements. Once the roof and the walls are gone, it leaves you with no protection from flying debris, from being thrown, and a microscopic chance of survival. And now you know. If you have any questions you'd like answered, feel free to send me a message on Twitter at ANYKShow or email me at andnowyouknowshow@gmail.com. Until next time.